Hello, and welcome to another episode of SkyrimPlus. Today, I'm featuring the top 10 Skyrim homes of 2025. Our first featured home is Helgen Cabin by Leet. It's located right down the hill from Helgen, where the vanilla game starts. When traveling up the hill from the Guardian Stones, you'll find a corpse, and when you check his inventory, you'll find a note from the owner, Caius Varro. He says he moved in a few days ago, but the bandits across the street keep bothering him for gold, so he's going to try to sort this out. But if he doesn't make it back, the key to the home is hidden on the property. We'll head on over to the bandit camp, which is the first one you find when you leave the cave by Helgen. First, we'll avenge his death by disposing of these criminal scum. Ah, that felt rewarding. And now that he's been avenged, the home's right down the hill. And here's another look at it. It's very unique. Around back, you'll find a tree stump containing a knapsack. That's where you'll find the key to the home. And now we're ready to take a look around. The first thing I notice about this home is the foliage on the roof. It looks amazing. And another great feature is that it's a no-load door home, so you can walk right in. The property has a farm with some harvestable crops. There are beautiful flowers planted along the fence post. And you have a scarecrow that will scare off any hungry animals. And just behind that is a tub to soak away your troubles. It auto-strips you when you walk in, and it re-equips you when you walk out. Right next to the tub is a gardening deck with an epic view of Lake Ilinalta. It offers 35 soils for you to plant, including 15 on these shelves and 20 on these planters on the deck. This is great for utility and adding a pop of color. You also have a well-decorated alchemy lab on the deck too. And when you come back down, we find a porch with planters and smithing equipment. Here's some planters with some pre-planted ingredients you can harvest. And you also have some smithing stations like this anvil, workbench and grindstone, and a tanning rack and smelter. And you have this custom see-through flower window, which really caught my attention. And next to the porch, there's more outdoor living space. You have a fire pit, some places to sit, a wood chopping block, the key tree, some training dummies, and a great view of the lake. When we head inside, there's a single bed that gives a rested bonus, an alchemy lab for your potions, a cozy fireplace with a cooking pot for your food prep, an arcane enchanter for your magical crafting, a shrine of Akatosh, and a teleport spell to return home. You also have tons of named storage and custom art around the home, which really makes the place feel like it's yours. With the home's location, backstory, features, and great visuals, Helgen Cabin is definitely one of the top homes of 2025. Next, we'll head east to Riverwood, where we'll find our second featured home, Timber Rest, by It's Ivy. When you arrive at the home, you'll need to jog across the bridge, travel up the stairs, and on the deck, you'll find a table with a note. It says that the owner saw some weird lights coming from Anissa's cabin at night, and oddly enough, she doesn't trust Anisse, so she left to investigate. Of course, you know what we need to do. And afterwards, when we head into her cabin, we find the former homeowner's journal. There are many pages, but the last page hints that we can find the key where the current and aisles meet. And what do you know? The home is located where the current and aisles meet. And here's the key. For those that need a more obvious hint, it's here. And now that we have the key, let's go check out our new home. Ivy gave us a cute candlelit mailbox and a couple of bridges that take us across the river. And on the island, she's given us a fishing spot that's perfect for a Fish Anywhere mod, and a cooking pot with some waterfront seating. Even the bridges have greenery that help it blend in with the Riverwood aesthetic. And next to the home, we find a garden with 6 fertile soils where you can plant whatever you want, a nightlight for midnight alchemists like me, and you have some archery targets, so go recruit Fane Dahl as your follower and have him train you here. There's also usable space underneath the home, so Ivy gave us a boss chest for storage, a mannequin to display one of your favorite armor sets, a wood chopping block for your firewood needs, and some smithing stations like our workbench, anvil, and tanning rack with a view of Riverwood and the White River as you work. And when we head upstairs, There's the dining table with a quest note, and a custom arcane enchanter covered in ivy. And like Helgen Cabin, this place has foliage on the roof too. I'm loving this trend. And now we'll head inside of the home, where we find a bed that offers a rested bonus, a dresser to store your clothes, and a safe to store your valuables, a few weapons plaques to show off your favorite weapons, a quaint indoor dining table, and a window with a view of Riverwood and the White River. Some of you may say that this home is too simple to be on the list, but that's the point. It blends in seamlessly with its surroundings, and that's why Timber Rest is definitely one of the top homes of 2025. Next, we'll travel back southwest by Lake Ilinalta to check out our third featured home, Sunny Cottage by Huolaton Miele. This home is located right down the hill from Lakeview Manor, and it's right next to the Necromancer's area, although there's a file to move the Necromancer if you don't want to live by them. We'll start with the outdoor features first, like this covered full smithing suite, with a tanning rack, smelter, workbench, wood chopping block, anvil, slack tub, and grindstone, along with some smithing storage. The mod author left the roof of the smithing suite blank for those that use Jackson's positioner to add some furniture, and it has a great view of the lake. And right down the hill from the smithing suite is an apiary and a gorgeous tree, which attracts bees and butterflies. And then when we walk around the corner, we find a planter with 3 fertile soils and a door to the basement. As we move to the front of the home, we find a stable for your horse, a barrel to collect rainwater, and a garden with 10 fertile soils where you can plant whatever you want. By the front door, there's another planter and the key to the home on the bench. And when we open the front door, we've discovered it's our third no-load door home so far. It's immersive. To the right, there's a living room with a cozy fireplace, and off of that room is a tub, and I love its color and design. When we head back towards the other side of the home, we find some cool animal statues on top of some storage, and then we find our kitchen with a cooking pot, harvestable ingredients, an oven, and a dining room table with great views of the lake. And this home has several windows that provide views of the outdoors with shutters that you can open and close. The kitchen also has this door that opens up to a stairway to the basement. The basement has some food storage, a meat freezer, and a skeleton, who I figure is either the past owner or a dark secret of yours. And there's a door that leads to the outside, near those soils I mentioned earlier. When we head upstairs, the first thing I notice is this beautiful window. There's one on the back side of the home too, with a slightly different design. And underneath the first window is a planter with 2 more fertile soils. And then working our way towards the back, there's an arcane enchanter, and there's an alchemy lab with a view of the lake. Then we have a hallway that leads to our bedrooms. Here's one of the bedrooms with a 4-poster bed that grants a rested bonus, storage, and then as we face the other wall, you have a huge picture window with an office space. And when we head down the next hallway with these beautiful blue walls, we find a second bedroom with another double bed with a window overhead, a window with a view of the smithing area, another window with a view of the lake, and a desk in the corner, which even has a shopping list. Clever. I should mention though that there is no nav meshing in this home, so followers won't be able to enter. Also, if blue isn't your color, the home also comes in red, which is called Sunset Cottage. It has a different design for the picture window in the front, as well as the picture window in the back. And if you don't care for blue or red, there's also yellow, which is called Sunshine Cottage. It too has a different picture window in the front, as well as a different window in the back. And if you just aren't into any color, you can get a rustic wooden option called Sunny Cottage. It has some bars on the picture window in the front, and a clear window to see outside in the back. And just to be clear, the blue option is called Moonlight Cottage, but no matter what your preference is, it's great to have a choice. But no matter whether you like the color options, the no-load door aspect, the crafting stations, or the fertile soils, Sunny Cottage was one of the best homes of 2025. Next, we're moving from the warm weather to cold, as we travel all the way to the east of the map to Windhelm. When you enter the city, take a right. Past the area where Sophie sells her flowers, and head all the way to the Great Quarter, right across from Sadri's Used Wares, you'll find our fourth featured home, The Nook, by Cursed Objects. If this name sounds familiar, it's probably because their home Astrum Chateau was on the Top 10 Homes of 2024 video, so check that one out if you haven't. When you arrive, there's a for sale board where you can buy the home for 5,000 septims. After entering, you'll discover there's no furniture, but you can use this anvil and materials to construct the rooms. And now that we're done renovating, we'll check out the first level of our 3-level home. Just past the front door, we have a kitchen with a cooking pot and oven, as well as a butter churn for your cooking needs. Custom cabinets which look really nice, a small dining table, 5 fertile soils to plant whatever you want, a small sitting area, and statues and paintings paying tribute to Boethia, Azura, and Mephala, whom the Dark Elves worship. When we head to the basement, we find an extensive crafting area with an alchemy lab and arcane enchanter, and spider imbuing chamber and staff enchanter. There's a bed for a follower underneath the stairs, as well as a candlelit shrine for Boethia, Azura, and Mephala. There's a bathroom with a shower, an outhouse with a full roll of toilet paper and ventilation, a full smithing suite, including named storage for smithing items, named storage for weapons and staves, and beautiful artwork that fit the theme of the space. When we head to the top floor, we find the master bedroom with a double bed providing a well-rested bonus, as well as displays for your favorite weapons and armor. And on the other side of the room, we find lots of named storage containers, a bookshelf, a dresser, and a secret entrance to a room that provides space to display many of the game's collectible items. You know I love a good trophy room. And now that we've seen all of the home, including its many crafting areas, the trophy room, the shrine space, and the decoration to match its theme, you should realize that the Nook is definitely among the best homes of 2025. Next, we'll travel just north of Morthal to visit our 5th featured home, Cutthroat Keep by Eleonora. This assassin-themed home costs 600 credits and has lots of great outdoor features, like this fishing dock, fertile soils to plant whatever you want, a garden with nightshade and death bells which you can use to make damage health potions, a red mist that looks particularly creepy at nighttime, a trap door in your backyard for quick access to the basement, a special enchanted dagger called Void's Talon by the front column, and a Dark Brotherhood-themed front door. When we head inside, we find a kitchen and dining area with a cooking pot and baking surface for your cooking needs. You have a dining space with dark elf lanterns and a distinguished dagger display. Plenty of weapon racks and plaques, and in the corner, you have a chest for storage and a journal that provides some backstory. And when we head up the stairs, we find a mannequin, Shrine of Archay, skull and crossbones, and a desk that contains an enchanted Ancient Brotherhood armor set with some nice perks. Here's another mannequin and barrel for your weapons, a creepy looking double bed with some weapon plaques above, and you also have the Dark Brotherhood tenants posted on the wall. This space also includes a lot of spooky decorations, like these skeletons in cages, a row of skulls on the wall, and these skeleton hands holding up the light. And underneath the stairs is a hatched door that leads to the basement. And as soon as you enter, you're confronted by the former owner. End her. And now the home is really yours. You can use the broom to clean up the mess. And then we find this cool shrine to Sithis, which grants its own special buff. A shrine area with shrines for the 9 divines, as well as shrines for Boethia, Azura, Mephala, Nocturnal, and Ariel. There's a wood chopping block and woodcutter's axe, as well as a weapons rack for 8 weapons, a training dummy to hone your combat skills, and the ladder that leads back upstairs. There's a couple of dagger displays, and a bookshelf for the scholars of Skyrim. And now we'll check out the crafting room. To the left is a full smithing suite, including an Allforge, which can craft Dragonborn, Dawnguard, and Skyforge items, storage for smithing items, and another weapon rack. There's a spider imbuing chamber with storage for spider making materials, And here's a custom alchemy lab, arcane enchanter, and staff enchanter with all related name storage, and a cabinet containing an unenchanted version of the Brotherhood armor. And you'll also find notes like this around the home that add additional backstory. And now we'll move on to the hallway, where we find our holding cell, a head chopping block and torture chamber, a coffin for a vampire roleplay, and a bathroom with a tub to wash away your sins. Our last area in the basement is the trophy room. You have several mannequins and weapon plaques to display your favorite gear. Displays for Miraak, Ariel, and Ysgramor. And you have places to store your special items, like items from the Thieves Guild questline and the Dragon Priest masks, the insects in a jar, important books, and skull keys, dragon claws, paragons, diaries from the Dawnguard DLC, and the Black Books, as well as several other unique items. This place has it all, and that's why Cutthroat Keep is one of the best homes of 2025. For our next home, we don't need a map because the home's already in our inventory, so we'll go ahead and activate a Pocket Palace key to enter our sixth home on the list, Pocket Palace Sanctuary by YoFam Gaming. The home is 2 stories tall, offers many useful features, and has a Hammerfell design to whet your appetite for Elder Scrolls 6, so without further ado, let's go check it out. First, it offers the player a bed that provides a well-rested bonus. It also offers a shower with working water, a cooking pot and oven, a wood chopping block and woodcutter's axe, a full smithing suite, an alchemy lab and arcane enchanter, a staff enchanter, and a spider imbuing chamber. There are tons of named storage containers around the home, so if it looks like it, it stores it. There's also a king-size pool for you to enjoy, along with interactive idle markers that allow you to sit and relax. The home includes 25 fertile soils to plant whatever you want, as well as a small vegetable garden guarded by Peter Rabbit. There are plenty of display cases to show off your favorite weapons, a change appearance mirror if you want to change your race, and access to all of the standing stones. There's a display for all of the amulets of the divines, all 9 divine shrines, as well as additional shrines to Boethia, Azura, Mephala, and Ariel and Nocturnal. There's a built-in teleporter that allows travel to the major hold capitals, and an interactive treasury that lets you show off your wealth. The home features impressive lighting, including interactive candles, and is filled with visual eye candy, from unique wall textures, to colorful rugs, to gorgeous vases, to detailed items that immediately grab your attention. Visually, this home impressed me more than any other mod I've seen since Shalador's Overlook, and honestly, this might be my personal favorite home on the list. So with that being said, Pocket Palace Sanctuary was one of the best homes released in 2025. For our next stop, we're going to travel just outside of Markarth to visit our 7th featured home, Markarth View Manor by Lids. This home is huge, so we won't be doing a traditional walkthrough, but I'll show you all of the main features, like this long staircase that takes you to the home's front porch, where you have every crafting station, including a full smithing suite, an alchemy lab, an arcane enchanter, and a staff enchanter. You also have an oven and a cooking pot, places to dine, a stable for your horse, a wood chopping block, a training dummy, archery targets, and beautiful views of the Reach. So basically you have everything you need before we even head inside. You also have a shop you can access from the deck that has a live-in shopkeeper that sells all sorts of goodies. There's also an annex that you can access from the porch that offers a large kitchen and dining area with more cooking stations, a stage and controls for the different lighting options for the performers, and lots of staff that have their own beds, their own schedules, and many allow you to sell them firewood, tell you rumors, and become followers. There's a garden that you can access that gives you tons of harvestable ingredients and lots of apiaries, so those that like making stamina potions are in luck. And there's a brewery that could rival the Blackbriars, and stations that let you refill your mead. As we enter the main home, you should know that Lids homes have tons of bathrooms. You receive buffs for using the bathroom, washing your hands, taking showers, and there are products like toothpaste, soap, and more that he offers in all of his homes that also grant buffs. There are elaborate tubs all over the home for you, your followers, and your staff to enjoy. You have a sauna to open up your pores, pools to enjoy a nice swim, buttons that can change the lighting for the home, control whether NPCs undress, make water pour in the pools, and activate dwarven machinery to make steam. And all faucets can toggle water on and off, so basically, if you enjoy cleanliness or water features, you'll love this place. The home also offers a master's quarters, with a double bed that offers a well-rested bonus, a coffin for a vampire playthrough, a small dining area, a cozy couch and fireplace, and bathrooms including a toilet and a pool shower combination. There's a button that leads to a room with different sized mannequins and trophy basins to display both large creatures and smaller ones. But what a way to display your favorite armor sets. And when you activate this wall, it opens up to a hallway where there's a room that you can store some of the unique items, although not like a trophy room. There's a room further down the hall with all of the crafting stations besides the spider imbuing chamber. And this room offers containers that provide loads of ingredients, ingots, and smithing materials, so that's a bonus. And there's another wall that you can open up that leads to a mine that contains all of the vanilla ore veins and geodes, and a mushroom hoard that you can harvest from, as well as an exit to the outside that leads to the staircase. As for the rest of the home, you have 6 beds available for kids, tons of beds for followers. You have another alchemy lab, arcane enchanter, and staff enchanter, with 1 chest containing loads of heartstones and soul gems, a kitchen with cooking stations for preparing your meals, a freezer for your meat, and 4 butter churns. You have the 9 divine shrines plus Boethia, Azura, Mephala, and Ariel, lots of these fish tanks, these awesome Markarth stained glass windows, a closet/armory with named storage, and an elevator that takes you to an upper deck. And look at how stunning this area is. The upper deck offers a fountain and pool with a beautiful tree, a gorgeous garden, a vegetable garden, a garden with tons of fertile soils that you can plant whatever you want, and a vantage point with more excellent views. This is the perfect palace in the Reach to accommodate a large family and lots of followers. It features towering vantage points, crafting stations galore, great design, and lots of creativity. And that's why Markarth View Manor is one of the top homes of 2025. For our next trip, we're venturing out to Solstein to check out our 8th featured home, Ashfelt Tower by Cursed Objects. You'll find this home in Raven Rock, right next to the Earthstone, where you'll find many of the townfolk mindlessly working for Mirak. It's a build-your-own home, so you'll need to activate the sale board to buy the land for 7,000 gold. Afterwards, a workbench appears, and you have the option to pay for construction, which costs another 10,010 gold, or you can choose to build the home yourself. And now that we're finished with the renovation, here's the outside. It's nicely decorated with exotic mushrooms and dark elf lanterns, and you have a garden on the left side of the home with 6 fertile soils, and a nice view of the sea. And when we head inside, we find our kitchen, which has an oven, cooking pot, and some cool artwork. Just look at these neat paintings. The next room over has some mannequins, weapons racks, a place to wine and dine, and then when we head upstairs, we find a couple of beds where our followers can stay. They have a really nice space, and they even have a dagger dartboard. And when we head downstairs, we find a place to kick back and relax, store some clothes, and a few fertile soils to plant whatever you want. And off of the den, we find a bathroom with a Dwemer shower, a sink, and a flushable toilet, although not as many as the last home. Across from the bathroom, you'll find the master bedroom, which offers a pop of color. You have a double bed that offers a well-rested bonus, and a few soils that you can plant by your bed. There are shrines to Boethia, Azura, and Mephala on top of this colorful bookcase, wardrobes that open up and let you see the inside, a couple of chairs by this cozy fireplace, a place to store your jewelry, a safe to store your valuables, more beautifully decorated bookcases and a barrel to refill your mead, and these bright festive lanterns hanging above. Now we'll go travel through this door and go into our cellar, where we start in a smithing area. We do have a full smithing suite with all of our stations, some shield plaques, and another cot for a follower under the stairs. The next room over is a crafting space. We find an extensively decorated alchemy nook, an enchanting area that would please any mage, a staff enchanter which would make Neloth jealous, and themed storage for all appropriate stations. There's also a coffin for any vampire players out there, and there's an area to work on your next artistic masterpiece, as well as a few more weapon racks and shield plaques, and this amazing orrery like the one that we saw in Pocket Palace Sanctuary. With this home's utility, unique location, and charm, Ashfelt Tower was one of the top homes of 2025. Next, we'll head back to Skyrim, just south of Whiterun, to view our 9th featured home, White Hearth, by Idomenius of Crete. When you start the game, the courier will deliver a message to you about a home for sale. After becoming Thane of Whiterun and acquiring 60,000 septims, you can buy the home from the head guard. After a week to renovate, we're ready to see what this home has to offer. When you approach the home, the drawbridge and gates will lower. Inside the first area, you have a stable for your horse, and a carriage that can take you to a few local spots. There are guards patrolling the outside of the home, and they have several vantage points to keep you safe. They live in these towers that are integrated into the gate around the home, and they have their own beds and areas to cook and hang out. Along the outside of the home, you'll also find a wood chopping block, chickens with harvestable eggs, a gorgeous fountain, lots of goats, a training area for your guards to hone their archery ability, and their close-range combat skills. You also have a nice statue and banners right by the door, and without further ado, let's head inside. Here's the room that you'll see when you enter the home. It has an auto-sort chest to sort your things, a wash basin with toggleable water, and speaking of water, check out this cool water feature. To the left is a dining hall which has enough space to accommodate a large group, and right off of that is your kitchen. There are a couple of cooking pots and ovens to prepare your meals. And you have a couple of food and ale vendors that can sell you things. And there are vendors of all sorts scattered around the home who can buy and sell different goods, so be on the lookout. To the right of the kitchen, you'll find a greenhouse with tons of fertile soils. There's an apiary, statue, and water feature to decorate this space. And on the other side of the room, you have an alchemy lab, themed storage, and a cooking pot. To the left of the kitchen, you'll find a room for wine and ale, and on the back bookshelf, you'll find a teleport spell for the home. Another space off of the dining room is the armory, which houses a full smithing suite. Here's your smelter, grindstone, workbench, and some storage, and then here's your forge, anvil, slack tub, and a tanning rack. And here's a spot to display some of your favorite weapons and armor. If you go down the stairs past this dining room, you'll find an armory with several mannequins, weapons racks, and shield plaques to display your favorite gear. You also have named storage for armors and shields, as well as arrows and weaponry. And there's an attached space with 4 bookshelves and an area to sit by a soothing waterfall. Across the hallway from the armory is an indoor training area with both archery targets and training dummies for all of the residents to use. A little further down the hall is a bath. You'll see the residents make their way here to relax, and they do auto strip if you were wondering. Here's a lady that's ready to dive in, as well as this cool dwarven machinery to heat the water. And further down the hall, you can find 12 more beds for workers and a few prison cells, probably destined for Nazim. If you head up the stairs to the right of the entryway, you'll find the master bedroom. It has a bed with a well-rested bonus and has a couple of soils you can use. There's a closet with a dresser that you can open and find storage for clothes, and to the right there's named storage for scrolls, treasures, jewelry, and artifacts. And on the other side of the wall, you'll find named storage for weapons, armor, shields, and bolts. This wall has beautiful tapestries, weapon plaques, and a view of the dining room. And this wall has a fireplace with a cooking pot, a seating area, a display for weapons and armor, and another fertile soil. Next, if you head up the stairs to the left of the entryway, you'll find a crafting room with an alchemy nook, more mannequins and soils, a hybrid arcane enchanter and staff enchanter, and a little office space with storage for your staves. Further down the hall is a watchtower that has windows with shutters that can open and close, with great vantage points near Whiterun. And further down the hall is a chapel with shrines for the 9 divines. And down the hall from that is a nice guest quarters for one of your favorite followers, and another 6 beds for your staff. The home also allows you to toggle the candles in your bedroom, and if you want more privacy, you can pull down this curtain. Lastly, the home has a steward named Balder that can make changes to the home, like adjusting the lighting, taking the Shrine of Talos out of the chapel, dismissing staff to free up beds for your followers, adjusting the statues and banners at the front of the home, switching your guard's armor to one of the several different factions, adding bathrooms throughout the home, adding a kids' room for 6 children, and adding a trophy room in the armory to display some of the game's collectible items, like Dragon Priest masks, as well as Elder Scrolls and Dragon Claws. With all of these cool features, it's safe to say that White Hearth was one of the best homes of 2025. Before we head to our last home, I wanted to go over some honorable mentions. First, I'd like to mention that Elfie Myrtle re-released all of her homes this year and gave each an update. I was so excited to see this happen because several of her homes are some of my very favorites. Several of these would have been on the list this year if they were created in 2025, but each of these are fantastic homes that you can't go wrong with. She picks some great spots to place her homes, and she includes features that are rare to make her home stand out. And she cares about the landscaping just as much as the work inside. Just look at this beautiful outdoor spot and tell me you wouldn't want this. I think even a vampire could appreciate this. And her design is top-notch. From floors to walls to ceilings, she perfects interior design. And let's not forget about all of her custom crafting stations. These are some of the most beautiful crafting stations I've seen. Don't forget to look at all of the nooks and crannies, because she's hidden some amazing spaces and places that aren't always obvious. She also makes top-notch trophy rooms, which makes you feel like the effort to obtain the object was worth it. So if you're looking for a new space and you've never tried one of her homes, I highly encourage you to research these. You won't be disappointed. For our next honorable mention, we're heading out to Windhelm to check out Ty's Palace of the Kings by Dovahkiina Ty. Although not a true home mod, her work overhauls this famous palace. Those that want to move in can marry Ulfric Stormcloak with the help of a mod, or steal the home's key in the lockbox in his bedroom. And then you can invite friends to stay in a room like this, followers to stay in this room, as well as invite children to stay who have a really cool place to play, and a cozy place to catch some Z's. And Ulfric gets an upgraded suite too. Ty also gave us a new armory, a war room with amazing lighting, a fancy library, a pool to soak your cares away, a living room area to spend time with your guests, and a garden to enjoy the outdoors and breathe in some of that cold mountain air. So if you're looking for a home near Eastmarch, this could be a great choice. And my last honorable mention is in Whiterun, specifically inside of Dragon's Reach, and it's named The Getaway by Tales of Frosthaven. To get the key, you either have to join the companions or steal the key from Codlike Whitemane's strongbox. If you get caught, it's only a 1 septim bounty, and you can keep the key. Then, you'll have to take that key to a new alchemy and enchanting space to the left of the Whiterun entrance, and use it on a safe that you'll find in the back right corner to get the key to the home. And look at how cool this space is. She gave us new weapons, staves, armors, and books. And she gave us this cool mage statue with a custom blessing. And there's an alchemy lab, arcane enchanter, and tons of other custom content to check out. She also gave us a smithing area outside while approaching Whiterun, which contains your smithing stations, storage, and all sorts of skill books. And around the corner, she added a smelter and a wood chopping block as well. To get to the home, you'll want to enter Dragon's Reach, take the stairs to the right of the Jarl's throne, and when you get to the top and face the stairs, there's a new door to the left that's the front door. When we enter, we find this cute statue that grants the blessing of Frosthaven, and to the right, there's an extensive area for alchemy, and across from that is a library. And up the ladder, we find an arcane enchanter, some smithing stations, and more custom books that tie to a quest. If you take a left at the entryway, you'll find our main living space with a dining table, displays for some of the special items, a kitchen with a large stone stove, a space to lounge around, a master bed that grants a well-rested bonus, a double bed for followers, a couple of beds for kids, and you even have a ping pong table. How cool! There are a lot of features I didn't cover with this, so if you're interested, make sure to check this one out. The Getaway was definitely one of my favorite homes of 2025. For our final entry, we'll stay in Whiterun Hold, but we'll head to Rorikstead to feature the most impressive home of the year, Tundra Stronghold by Retrofix. His mod Daisy's Retreat made my top homes video from last year, so he's back again creating Skyrim greatness. This massive home is located directly southwest of Rorikstead. You can see the town in the background. As for the backstory, the home used to be Castle Blackmoor, but it's been long forgotten. The citizens of Whiterun Hold still maintain the grounds and preserve the ancient culture, but this place is meant to look old. The outside of the home has a stable for your horses, a smithing suite minus a smelter, and plenty of abandoned housing. The mod author said the NPCs will live here after the next update. To craft the gold key, you'll need to visit a forge and have 25,000 gold in your inventory. Now that we have the key, let's check out the inside. Here we are inside of the entrance to Tundra Stronghold. It's a pretty impressive entryway. The first floor has an alchemy peace room that has a tree with gently falling petals, and an alchemy lab and staff enchanter for your crafting needs. It also has some interesting decoration, as well as a training area to hone your combat skills. There's also a room with all of the shrines to the divines to the right of the entrance. And right next to that is a room to practice those enchanting skills. Up the stairs from the entrance, you'll find the main throne room. You and your spouse have a seat up top. And there's a stage to watch performances you'll never forget. And here's the main kitchen. It has an oven, cooking pot, and even has some rotisserie beef. The kitchen also has a pantry for food and drink storage. Looks like someone hunted some boar for dinner. Appetizing, right? After dinner, your guests have their own space to lounge. It has its own upper deck. And as far as where they sleep, here's the Knight's Quarters, whose entryway has a unique table and offers an alchemy lab, an enchanter, and a staff enchanter. They have their own forge and training area, and here's a cool oval dining table with a mounted dragon skull. And check out the fire in the middle. Not sure why there's swords in there, but I like it. This quarter has several long hallways with bedrooms. There are 17 rooms that look about like this, so assign your closest followers here. Another option for your guests to stay is the Stronghold poolside. It's designed well with fish spouting water into the pool, beautiful stained glass windows, and a centerpiece of Dibella surrounded by flowers. Of course, there are idle markers all around for NPC interaction. Right next to the pool is a room with all of the standing stones. And like the Knight's Quarters, there are 17 rooms. They're just smaller and not quite as nice. Aside from the guest amenities, check out your armory, with plenty of weapon racks, plaques, and mannequins to show off your favorite gear. And if this isn't enough space, you might be a hoarder. But luckily for you, there's a second room with tons of storage as well. There are also several exits that lead to this observation tower that offers great views of the surrounding countryside. And attached to the home via bridge is a crafting tower. When you look inside, it's pretty mysterious. And after hiking up a mountain's worth of stairs, you'll find your way to a mystical crafting space. It includes an arcane enchanter and an alchemy lab for your crafting needs. And you can also access the rooftop, which has great views of the surrounding land or the night sky. Now we'll head back in and check out the King's Quarters. Right off the entrance is your own private library. It has its own upper deck. You have your own dining hall and bar. And on the bar is the home's teleport spell. This room offers a teleport to the Tundra Cavern. The mod author said that the next update will contain more teleports, so I bet it'll be in this room. Here's what the cavern looks like inside, and if you follow the light like Carol Ann in the movie Poltergeist, you'll find a shortcut to the tundra right outside of Whiterun, convenient for shopping and quests. Right behind you is a cave that leads back to that tunnel, and this is where you teleport back into the King's Quarters. The quarters also contains a storage room with shrines to Azura, Boethia, and Mephala. You have your own complete smithing suite, and a wood chopping block right outside of its door. And you have your own private pool with my favorite statue in the game. Who wouldn't love to have this in their home? And now we'll take a look at the master bedroom. Here's a double bed for you and your spouse to share. You have a ton of closet space with name storage, and between the fire and the Shrine of Zenithar is a suspicious cabinet. Inside is another incredible crafting space, offering alchemy, enchanting, and staff enchanting. As we pass these Slender Man-like statues, we head to the final area of the home, the trophy room. This space reminds me of Shellblad Castle mixed with the Daedric ruins from Dragonia. It offers a place for you to hoard your wealth and display your Elder Scrolls and insects in a jar, a word wall to display your dragon claws, and your dragon priest masks, which are also guarded by Alduin to scare off would-be thieves. And then you'll pass through this atmospheric graveyard to get to the next space, which has statues prominently displaying the Daedric princes like Periite, the Mad God Sheogorath, Nocturnal, and Malakath. Here's a throne by some lava with Mehrunes Dagon in the background, and here's a black book display with Hermaeus Mora, the Paragons with Ariel, and then you have displays for the Daedric items. I love this dark red lighting to add to the creepy ambiance. And now that we've seen all of the trophy room, we've completed our tour of the home. Tundra Stronghold showed off epic spaces and tons of creativity, and that's why I'm choosing it as the most impressive home of 2025. So now that I've finished my thoughts on the best homes of the year, tell me which home you found the most impressive. Did I miss one that you thought was deserving? Which of these will you be adding to your load order? Let me know in the comments. This concludes my feature of the top 10 Skyrim homes of 2025. If you enjoyed this content and want to see more, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Click the bell icon if you want to be notified of when I post, and as always, thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next episode.